Good day mga labs! Welcome back sa aking YouTube channel. At today, meron tayong panibagong video lesson at ito ay tungkol sa nature of the roots of quadratic equation. Since tapos na tayo sa different methods on how to identify the roots of the given quadratic equation, this time is we need to determine the nature of the roots. Okay, so ano po ba to? So the nature of the roots of quadratic equation is determined by the discriminant. So ang discriminant natin is d is equal to b squared minus 4ac. So kung ano yung iisip nyo, that is correct. So the discriminant is part of the quadratic formula. So kung matatandaan ninyo ang ating quadratic formula, the formula is x is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of the discriminant b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So by using the discriminant, we can be able to identify or determine the nature of the roots of the quadratic equation. So paano po ba yon? First one, if b squared minus 4ac or the discriminant is equal to 0, okay, so equal to 0, the roots are real, rational, and equal. Okay, so ang nature of the roots ay real, rational, and equal kapag 0 ang discriminant mo. Next, if the discriminant is greater than 0, so ano yung mga greater than 0? Ito yung mga positive numbers or integers, and a perfect square. So meron tayong mga perfect square. So ano yung mga perfect square natin? It is 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, and so on and so forth. So meron ako sa inyong ibinigay na unang mga list of perfect squares ng nung una nating lesson. Okay? Dun parang sa radicals, nagbigay na ako sa inyo ng list. So, pwede ninyong i-recall yun. Okay? So, again, pag ang discriminant mo ay greater than 0 and a perfect square, ang roots niya ay real, rational, and unequal. So, magiging unequal siya kasi ang ating perfect square, ang mga radicals natin, may dalawang sagot. Okay, it is positive and negative. So, automatic unequal sila. Next, if the discriminant is greater than 0 ulit, but this time, hindi perfect square, okay, ano-ano yung mga hindi perfect square? Yung 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on and so forth. Yun yung mga numbers or integers greater than 0 na hindi perfect square. So, ang nature ng roots ay real, irrational, and unequal. Okay? Next, if the discriminant is less than 0, ito yung mga negative integers. Ang roots natin ay non-real or imaginary. And na-discuss ko na din sa inyo yung mga imaginary numbers. Okay po. So, paano po ba yun? Let's have example number 1. Determine the nature of the roots of x squared minus 4x plus 4 is equal to 0. So, ang first step natin dito is to get the values of a, b, and c. Alam nyo naman kung paano kunin ang values ng a, b, and c. So, yung a, b, and c, ito yung mga coefficients. A and b, coefficients yan ng first and second term. And din yung c natin ay constant. So, sa quadratic equation na given sa problem number 1, ang value ng a natin ay 1. So, 1, ito siya, numerical coefficient ng ating quadratic term. Ang b natin ay negative 4. Ito siya. Ito yung negative 4. And then, ang c naman natin ay yung constant. This is positive 4. Next, use the discriminant formula and substitute to it the values of a, b, and c. So, the discriminant formula is d is equal to b squared minus 4ac. So, huwag nyo kakalimutan lahat ng letters dito sa ating formula. Okay? Papalitan mo lang siya nung kanilang given values. based doon sa ating given quadratic equation sa problem. Pag nagsasubstitute kayo, lagi nyo na lang siyang i-enclose sa parentheses para hindi kayo malito. So, pag sinubstitute yan, yung b natin will become negative 4. Kasi ito siya, ang b natin ay ayan. Minus, copy lang. 4 is constant here, bawal palitan, bawal baguhin, bawal tanggalin. Yung a natin ay 1, so enclose sa parentheses. Ang c natin ay 4, enclose ulit sa parentheses. Ito yung c ninyo, ha? Okay, pagkatapos, i-perform natin yung indicated operation. Negative 4 squared ay 16. It is negative 4 times negative 4, that is positive 16. And then negative 4 times 1 ay negative 4 times positive 4 ay negative 16. Kaya 16 minus 16 yan. Simplify natin. D is equal to 0. Okay. So, ang discriminant natin ay 0. Discriminant pa lang yan. So, ang nature ng roots ay real, rational, and equal. Okay? So, itong real, rational, and equal, doon nyo lang yan kukunin doon sa una nating slide. Yung 4 na nature of roots natin. Real, rational, and equal. Since ang discriminant mo ay 0. Next example. Determine the nature of the roots of 2x squared minus x plus 3 equals 0. Ganun ulit. Get the values of a, b, c. A is 2. Galing dito yan. B ay negative 1. Ito, imaginary 1. Nandito. And then, ang C natin ay constant 3. Ayan. Next, gamitin ang formula. D is equal to b squared minus 4ac. Then, substitute. Your b is negative 1. And close sa parenthesis. Naka-square minus copy. And then, copy yung 4. Ayan. Then, yung a mo ay 2. And close sa parenthesis. C mo ay 3. And close din sa parenthesis. Then, multiply natin. Again, pwede kayo ditong gumamit ng calculator. So, D is negative 1 squared is positive 1. Kasi negative 1 times negative 1 is 1. So, negative 4 times 2 ay negative 8 times 3 ay negative 24. So, simplify. D is negative 23 kasi 1 minus 24 ay negative 23. Okay? So, discriminant mo ay negative 23. Ang nature ng roots ay non-real or imaginary. Basta kapag ang D mo naging negative yan, automatic, non-real or imaginary yan. Okay? Next example. Determine the nature of the roots of x squared minus 5x minus 6 is equal to 0. Ganun ulit. Get the values of a, b, and c. A is 1. Dito galing yung 1. Imaginary 1. And then b is negative 5. Ito. Then c is negative 6. Ito yan. Use the formula. Okay? And then substitute. Your b is negative 5. Your a is positive 1. Your c is negative 6. Our quantity negative 5 squared is positive 25 because negative 5 times negative 5 ay positive 25. Negative 4 times 1 ay negative 4. Negative 4 times negative 6 ay positive 24. Add ninyo, simplify. We have D is 49. And 49 is a perfect square. Since D is greater than 0 and a perfect square, therefore, ang nature ng roots natin ay real, rational, and unequal. Okay po. Real, rational, and unequal. Next example, let's have the last, I think this is the last example. So, determine the nature of the roots of 3x squared plus 5x minus 1 is equal to 0. A, B, and C natin is, A mo ay 3. Ito yan. Ito yung 3. And then, B is, ayan, B is 5. Positive 5 kasi plus yung katabi. Then, C ay negative 1. Okay? Then, gamitin natin ang formula. Formula ng discriminant. And then, substitute. Your B is positive 5. Your A is positive 3. Your C is negative 1. Then, 5 squared, 5 times 5 ay 25. Negative 4 times 3 ay negative 12 times negative 1 ay positive 12. So, ang ating discriminant ay 37. So, 37 ang discriminant natin. It is greater than 0 and hindi siya perfect square. The discriminant is greater than 0 but not a perfect square. Ibig sabihin, ang nature ng roots natin, real, irrational, and unequal. So, ganyan lang po ang pag-determine ng nature ng roots ng quadratic equation. Lagi nyo lang pong tatandaan yung nasa unang slide natin, yung mga yung determinants natin ng nature of the roots. If it is equal to 0, greater than 0, and a perfect square, greater than 0 but not perfect square, and yung mga less than 0. So, ito yung madaling sagutan kasi titingnan mo lang kung yan ba ay greater than 0 or not, or equal to 0. Tapos, identify mo lang siya kung ma-identify mo na yung nature ng roots niya. Okay, so, again, itong content natin na to ay naka-align sa SLEM number 6 ng SDO-Malabon module sa math. Okay? So, for the second quarter. So, I hope may naintindihan kayo, and kapag meron, so, huwag nyo na rin kakalimutang mag-like and subscribe. I-share nyo na din to sa mga classmates ninyo para may matutunan din sila tungkol sa ating topic. And that's all. Bye!